Hi, I'm here to answer the 5 questions from superlunary. You know who you are. Anyway, the first question that she asks is if you could live in any era or time period, when would it be and why? I would choose to live back in the times of Little House on the Prairie. It was much simpler then. Life was easier, as in there wasn't as much crime and there wasn't as much fighting for advancement in life. Little House on the Prairie, there was love was love. It wasn't where you get married for status per se. You got married because you loved the other person and you stayed married, and there wasn't a matter of you married to get something from that person. It was a much more caring time, and they thought that God's law of being married was more important than just be married. Another reason that I think that Little House on the Prairie time was a better time was the bartering system. Um, I work 40 hours a week. I struggle very hard to get just what I have for my family. My husband works also very much for the same reason. And in the bartering system, if I could grow a garden, I would eat, and I wouldn't have to pay the $5 for a bag of apples when it grew right out on my tree. And if you needed apples, I gave you apples from my tree, and you gave me tomatoes from your garden, and we got to eat, and we got to survive together. And chickens. I mean, not only do you have the chicken to eat, you've got their eggs to eat, and then you trade eggs for someone who's got a cow for milk, and then you trade the couple chickens themselves for some meat, and then you hatch your eggs and you have more chickens. It was just a simpler life back then, and I think another reason is electricity. As much as I love YouTube and as much as I love being on here, I think that before video games and before TV and before electricity period, families spent more time together. And I think that's very important. I think the families need to spend more time together. I don't think that one child needs to be in their room playing video games while the other one is in their room listening to the radio, while the other one is watching TV. I think that electricity has caused the families to separate. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie. I love chickens. I want a chicken. The next question that was posed was, what celebrity would you like to meet and being intimate with? Well, I'm married, so things like that don't cross my mind. But I know Jesus is probably a cliche, but it's absolutely true. To meet the one person that has created life and has helped so many people and given so many people hope of a better life somewhere is a pretty important celebrity in my book. And I think that meeting Jesus and having some time to ask some questions and get some answers and just to hang out with someone like him would be really cool. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. On to the third question. One wish. Of course, the first thing I'm going to think of is to wish for more wishes, because you're not going to get what you really want out of life with just one wish. But if I had to wish for one thing, it would be money. Because with that one wish, I can get a few of the other things that I need. If I needed new clothes for my kids, money would get that for them. If I needed a new vehicle so that I can get back and forth to work, money would get that. If I wanted a home to raise my children in and wanted to spend more time with them, money would solve that. I wouldn't have to get a job. I could stay home with my children and homeschool them and do all the things that I want to do with them and be with them and have the money to buy the crafts to do at home. So that would be my one wish. More money. The next question was, if I could go anywhere, where would I go? That's a tough one. I've been all over the United States, and I really haven't found that one place is any better than the other. They're all good in their own ways, but I think that maybe I'd like to try Hawaii. I've never been there, so I'd like to try it. Or maybe Pluto. I feel bad for him, not being a planet at all. Tough question, hard to answer. Last question, number 5. Tell us something about yourself that we don't already know. Well, that one's tough too, because I don't want to give out too much information. But the one thing that you may not know about me is when I was a teenager and sort of kind of living on the streets and hanging out and living wherever I could, I did get involved in the Boys and Girls Club in the town I lived in, and they gave me the opportunity to teach dance classes to children ages 4 to 9, and I really enjoyed that, and I got a lot out of what the children had to offer, and I hope that I gave something to them. So that's my response to the 5 questions. I had a great time answering them because it makes you think about some of the things that you don't normally think about. I hope that a lot of other people have given their answers. I'd like to hear them. Thanks. Bye.